Steve's cuz. So anyway, we're gonna continue with our drawing of animals, starting off with one of our simpler shapes. 1 second, let me just sharpen my pencil really quick. Alright, so today we're gonna draw more animals. We're gonna need our drawing paper, pencil, and eraser, and any other drawing supplies that you need. So we are going to start off with a very easy shaped animal, and we're going to get progressively harder, just as the other classes or the other sessions we've been doing. We're going to continue that same what is it called when you try to get the same ficka-facka? Fack. Start over again. So anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to work on drawing our animals again, starting off from an easy shape, moving on to more exaggerated shapes and lines to create different animals. We're trying to keep them going from easier to harder, just so that you guys can see how the shapes, just tweaking a particular line or shape, can cause it to look like a different animal. So today we're going to need our paper, our eraser, and our pencil, and any other drawing supplies that you may want to use. So let's start off with this animal. It's very simple. We have a nice oval shape for the body, and it's going to be more of like an egg shape because it does taper in the back, gets skinnier, and towards the top it gets wider. So we want to kind of copy that same kind of shape. And then notice how the back legs and the front legs. Now, I know a lot of you, when you try to draw this animal, it ends up being where the back legs are nice and long, but in actuality, this particular animal has very, very small back legs. They are barely sticking out of the back of the shell there. So that would be it for the back legs. The front ones stick up like a check mark and come back down. They're very much longer than the back legs. So we can go ahead and create a type of rounded rectangle. I guess it's kind of like an oval, but try to follow the same angles as the lines that you see on your reference that you're drawing from. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to try and make it actually look like the animal. Okay, so we do have a bump here that comes around, and that's going to represent the top of our animal, and it does have these jagged lines that come out the back. From the front, we are going to draw a trapezoid because that is the neck, and then it's going to come into another oval, just like that, and the other arm is going up and down way in the background. So this arm is going to be smaller than the one over here because, remember what we say, the further something is, the smaller it looks, the closer something is, the bigger it looks. Okay, so we have that thing going on. Okay, so the arm in the back, of course, is going to be drawn smaller than the one in the front, in the foreground. So here we have the head, the neck, the shoulders leading to the elbows. Let's see, the shoulders leading to the elbows that come up to the forearms. Oh geez, I made a mess. Hang on 1 second. So we have the head that leads to the neck, then goes to the shoulders, which then leads up to the forearm, which is short, and then it goes to the wrist, which then goes to the hands. Hands are nice and long. And then we have the back legs, which are basically the feet, and they're very, very short here, practically non-existent there, because most of it is inside the body here. Okay, so most of our information, our detail, is located up in the body, which we don't normally see. All right, moving back to the face, we have a little triangle at the front, and that represents the mouth. And then it's going to come down and smile. So this is kind of wavy line. And right above that smile, we have nice big eyes, dark eyes. So you can draw a nice big circle. And then if you want, you can put a little triangle at the bottom and the top. Bottom left, top right, you can put those little angles. And then if you want, you can put the eyelid on top of that. And maybe a little highlight, so when you color in the dark eyes, you can still see a small light reflection off of it. All right, the remainder of the animal, well, after we do the erasing of the skeleton and the other lines we don't need, the remainder of the animal ends up just being textures, which are the plates and lines on the back of the animal. I mean, other than this is basically the shape that you need to draw your animal. After that, it's all textures. Okay, so moving on to another amphibic, reptilian, amphibian type animal. Okay, using the same shape, we're gonna do that same kind of teardrop oval, but now instead of it being going diagonal up, this one's going to be going diagonal down. Okay, same shape that we started with the turtle. Let's go ahead and do the same thing here for the second picture. You guys are probably wondering why I don't put the picture up right away, and that's because as soon as you guys see that reference, you're going to start drawing what you think you see. I want you guys to watch what I'm doing here so you get an idea of what I'm seeing, so it helps you with the observation. Okay. All right. So we have a neck, then we have a head, and that comes down to the shoulders. We have the we have the head here, and that comes down to the neck. Then we have the shoulders here and here, and then from the shoulders we have the upper arm, elbow, lower arm, and then the hands. And then the same thing at the base of the body. We have hips. Hips come up to the knee. Knee goes back down to the ankle. Ankle comes back forward to the feet. And I put a little triangle there on the back side. And I'm going to erase that line there so you can see how the butt looks. It has a little tail. Alright, so this is basically the skeleton for this animal. You have the hips, the shoulders, the elbows, the knees, the wrists, the ankles, and the fingers. And then you have the head up here. Alright, so the head is gonna be kind of like another teardroppy shape. Kind of going in the same direction as the first one we drew, only it's going to be much smaller. And once you have that teardroppy shape next to your other teardroppy shape, we're pretty much done with that part of the body. Let's go ahead and erase the shoulders and the head marks and the line that connects the head to the body, because it should all be one shape. And also erase the spine because we don't need that anymore for information. Alright, but we do need the shoulders. The shoulders stick out, and it leads to the elbows, which is another nice long cylinder. And when it comes down to the hands, they're flat. And then we have these rectangles sticking out from the hands, and at the end of each finger we have a round shape. Okay, so there's that. Now that I'm done with my arm, I can erase the skeleton that's in it, and my tummy that's going through my arm, just like that. So here we have the arm. Okay, the leg, the hips are here, sticks forward to the knees. The knees are nice and round, and they shoot back to the ankles, just like that. And then finally they shoot forward again to the feet. And just like the front hands, the feet come down. They have these little rectangles sticking off of them. And at the end of the rectangles there are circles. So now we can go ahead and erase everything within the legs, including the skeleton. We don't need that anymore because we're done drawing the form. Okay, let's make the stomach darker. Let's make the back darker because we are almost done. Okay, for the head, right in the middle we have huge round circles. In fact, one is going to be on the other side of the head. And around that circle we're just going to put another rounded line going around the top of the eye, because these are the eyeballs. Just like that. And then we're just going to put a line going through this circle to make it look like this eyeball. And then we have a strange looking shape for the part that's looking. I'm just going to go ahead and color that in because it's strange. It has a couple of dots for the nose. The mouth comes across all the way back. It has a small line underneath the chin. So let's erase that mouth, that jowl there. So here's big, and it comes to a smaller, finer point. And then we can go ahead and draw the other arm coming out from the other side. And even from that hand we have rectangles with circles on them. I'm just going to smooth out the back slightly because this bump over here is a little bit too much. It's too high. Just like that. Kermit the Frog here. He has all these designs all over him, all these cool colors and whatnot that you guys can add to him after. Alright, getting past that, let's go ahead and do the next exaggerated animal. We're slowly evolving from fins to long appendages. Now let's elongate the torso, the body. And for me to do that, I'm going to turn my paper sideways, and I'm going to start off once again with an elongated egg shape. It's for my body, same as these two. And then the head is going to be kind of a circle. Technically that's the neck. Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird. But we have the shoulders here that we can see, and those come down to the elbows, and the elbows come down to the feet. And then we have the hips here, which come back to the knees, and the knees come back to the legs, and those lay flat. And then it has a long tail. Everything about this animal is much more exaggerated lengthwise, so it's just everything is like taking these two animals and just pulling it. Okay, so let's go ahead and create those lines there. And then the top part of the head is going to be a small bump right after the circle. And from that small bump, we're going to put another small bump. So we have two bumps side by side. And then it's going to come diagonally up. And then you're going to have a small bump at the end of the diagonal. And then it's going to round out and come back. Like that. Okay, the next step is we are going to draw a triangle on the bottom of that. Whoops. Triangle's too wide. Let's go a little bit thinner. I'm going to draw a triangle below that. You guys can kind of see what we're doing now, huh? Ta-da! Anyway, take the eraser, erase the lines that are connecting the mouth to the head. The eyes are going to be these beady little circles. The nose is that little bump at the top, probably so it can breathe when it's laying underwater. And we're going to have a bunch of triangles inside the mouth. We have a bunch of triangles on the bottom of the mouth. Back is going to be a little bumpy. So I'm just going to put these bumpy lines going up and over my animal. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw his upper arm leading to his shoulders, and then his forearms coming down to his hands, which are planted flat on the ground. Just like that. And then we're just going to go ahead and draw the tummy, darken that line, and come back up towards the hips. I'm going to round that out towards the knee. Add the shin and calf area. And then put some toes on the feet. Just like that. And then that tail is nice and long. Just like that. And then take your eraser and erase all the skeleton and all the lines you don't need that are disconnecting your shapes. Or whatever lines that you messed up from erasing, just go ahead and add them back. Alright. And then once again, everything that's happening on the body of your animal is all textures and lines and whatnot that you can add to your animal if you want to. I'm not going to do that now because I want you guys to be able to just go ahead and get the forms, draw them all out. There you go. Our amphibian / reptile set.